I swear I wear like the same fucking shirts on like camera. I swear I only have like 3 shirts in my wardrobe. Howdy hi ho everyone, CraptasticJack here. Today I want to talk about Project Cars. Now, when's the last time I made a video talking about Project Cars? But I wanted to kind of sit down and talk about Project Cars 3 today because I've been actually watching a few people play Project Cars, and for a game that has had a lot of skepticism and criticism recently, I think the game looks quite good, actually. I know it's a bit insane. I think it's safe to say a lot of people in the racing game space are not expecting Project Cars 3 to be a very good game. I know Project Cars just as a series is kind of like Need for Speed. It's in an identity crisis. It really doesn't know what it wants to be. Now, if you guys don't know, I'm going to give you guys a little brief history of Project Cars. Project Cars actually is an acronym. It stands for Community Assisted Racing Simulator. That's what the CARS stands for. And originally, it was a crowd-funded game that people contributed to in order for the game to be built. And then when it was built, and then Project Cars 2 was announced immediately after that game came out, which is really weird. Back when Project Cars 1 was out and was on consoles, I was not really into sim racing. I barely even knew how to drive. Like, I think I made a Project Cars 1 video before I even had my license. When I played Project Cars, I was playing it on my Xbox with an Xbox controller, and it ran like dog shit. Controlling the car in Project Cars 1 with a controller, you couldn't do it. It was a very awful experience. And I remember them touting about, oh, how you can play Project Cars with a controller, you can play it with a wheel, you can play it with, like, you could not play this with a controller. They were more or less lying to you about that. It was more so marketing bullshit. Now, I actually ended up really enjoying Project Cars 2. When I got Project Cars 2, when I started playing Project Cars 2, I already had my license for like a year and a half at that point. I was learning stick shift. I had a VR headset. I was learning more about just driving in general and racing, composition, all that type of stuff. I was learning more about racecraft and how cars work. So I really enjoyed that game a lot more for what it was. I know a lot of people in the sim racing community look down upon the Project Cars series for a lot of reasons. A lot of valid reasons, a lot of not so valid reasons. It actually makes quite a lot of sense that Slightly Mad Studios want to shy away more from the sim racing market, because a lot of the sim racing market really never fully appreciated, nor did they really accept Project Cars. And unlike the arcade racing market, the sim racing market's actually flourishing right now. You have so many other games. Assetto Corsa Competizione, or however the fuck you pronounce it. You have Automobilista 2, you have R Factor 2, and you have iRacing, and there's probably a few others. Like, you have quite a fucking lot going on right now in the sim racing community. Over here in the arcade racing community, or like the Simcade community, you really just have Forza for Simcade, and you have Gran Turismo Sport. For arcade, you have The Crew, which is dog shit right now, and you have Need for Speed, which is not doing that hot right now. They saw themselves, they weren't doing too hot in the sim racing market, and so they're like, okay, let's reinvent the wheel. And by reinvent the wheel, let's go back to one of the games that we made back over a decade ago, and that's Need for Speed Shift. If you don't know, Slightly Mad Studios made Need for Speed Shift 1 and Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed. And those games are not sims, really. They're not really sims. They're at the most Simcade. I've been playing a lot of Shift 1 recently, and I've actually been really enjoying Shift on a wheel. It's just a bit wonky. You can't really use the cockpit view, but it's fun. It's fun on a wheel, and this is what Project Cars 3 looks to be. It basically looks like Shift 3 if we ever got a Shift 3. And that's really what Project Cars 3 looks like. I mean, you have the corner mastery, you have the arcadey-ish, more arcadey physics. You're able to drive in the chase cam and do it fine. And from what I've seen gameplay, from watching Straight Up Hippo on Twitch play the game, it's actually very playable with a controller. It actually looks a lot of fun, and some of the reasons I'm personally drawn to it is, when it comes to racing, I'm more drawn to road courses and city tracks as opposed to actual race tracks. There seem to be a lot of city courses in road circuits and everything in Project Cars 3, and that's the reason I'm drawn to it. And also, you have a type of progression that you won't really see in sim racing. You're able to literally buy up a car and upgrade it, customize it to your liking, and build it up and race it. That's something we really don't see too much in sim racing, and that's something I really appreciate out of Project Cars. Starting from the bottom with a crappy car and working your way up the tiers. Like I saw you have like Street D, Street C, Street A, you work your way up. That's fucking awesome. Like I love that type of progression. That's something I've really kind of been missing from sim racing. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm not saying Project Cars 3 is a good game, but I'm also not saying it's a bad game. What I'm saying is Project Cars 3 actually looks like it's a lot of fun. And who knows, the multiplayer might be popping, we might have an awesome multiplayer scene. And when we're looking for more racing games to play nowadays, I'd highly recommend you definitely give Project Cars 3 a shot. It actually looks really fun. And I know it's really hard to be it's really easy to be skeptical right now with Slightly Mad Studios, especially after they made... This is so bad! That. I really believe that this game will be quite good. That's from what we're seeing so far, it looks quite good. Now, if you're a sim racer, you're probably not gonna like it, but that's okay. You have countless other sim racing games to play. You can't really be going into this game with the mindset that's gonna be a sim game, because you're just not gonna like it. You gotta go into it with the mindset of that it's more so a Project Gotham Racing, or it's closer to Project Gotham Racing or Forza than it is to iracing, Assetto Corsa, those type of games. That's kind of the mindset you have to go into this game. And it's really not a good idea that they named it Project Cars 3. They really pulled a Crew 2 there. They really should have named it something like the Project Cars blank. They should have made it more of a spin-off, or maybe their own game, maybe a sub-series. But at the very least, they should have named it a spin-off game. Then again, I don't know if this is the direction they want to take the entire series forward, or if this is just something they're doing for this one game. We don't know. But Project Cars 3, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I was one of the skeptics very early on when it got announced. Project Cars 3 actually looks quite fun, and it looks very enjoyable. So let's hope that it is. And I'm definitely gonna be doing some videos and some streams on Project Cars 3. I stream a lot on Twitch, twitch.tv/CraptasticJack. I just had to throw that in. But that's it for me tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll be catching you guys in my next video. Expect some Project Cars 3 videos in the near future. Have a good one, guys.